Yes.
Oh, nice to see you, Eve.
Okay.
Challenges we have had to overcome in 2020. Find your own voice. The world has become united by the unseen, knowing there are no guarantees for tomorrow. Find your own voice. Let the world hear your voice with the field within. For the day has come for you to be a great leader. The time is come to break away from the pain, distraction, experience benefit.
The time has come to break away from the pain. Welcome to Ngosi Talk Show. Over to you, Anne. Carol Ann, please introduce yourself to our audience.
Hello, and good afternoon from London, UK, and wherever anybody else is in the world who is listening now or maybe listening later. My name is Carol Ann, and as the writing facilitator, what I do is I support soul-driven entrepreneurs in becoming more productive with their writing. But more importantly, they experience an unlocking of the writer within and getting their book written, getting their story, because you cannot publish what isn't written. And all of this has come about through my own journey of unlocking the writer within. And that has been a relentless journey in finding myself and getting to know myself and the relationship with myself and my relationship with writing, which has been, interesting. So welcome to today's topic. And yes, I'm the writing facilitator, helping you unlock the writer within.
Thank you so much, Carol Ann. Over to you, Evelien. Please introduce yourself to our audience, and please tell our audience where you are based as well. And it's your first time here today, and welcome to Ngosi Talk Show.
Thank you so much. I'm really excited to be here. Evelien van Es is my name. I'm based in the Netherlands, and I work as an international business and life coach, speaker, and author of Be Relentlessly Yourself. And what I do is I help people really get to the core of their being, because that's what the foundation is in their business and in their life. And once you get to that core and you're able to translate that into the business, that's what leads to real fulfillment in life. And I love to inspire. I love to speak. I love to write also. And for me, doing the work that I do now has been extremely liberating, because for me, I got rid of that nagging feeling of what is it that I really want in life. And what I do is help people really get to that point where they feel like this is what they want to do in life, and this is how they can contribute to the bigger whole. And so I'm really excited to be here from the Netherlands and to discuss this lovely topic with each other today.
Much, Evelien. So our topic today is being relentless yourself in relationships. All sorts of relationships we'll be talking about. So please, who chose the topic, girls? I forgot to ask.
It was me.
Could you please explain to our audience what does the topic mean and why you chose this topic? And over to you, please, Evelien.
Yeah, thank you. The reason I chose this topic is that not only it's a topic that I talk about in my book, but it's especially being a result of my own discovery in life and in business, is that it is really a journey to get to a point where you can get to the core of who you are, and that being yourself, especially in relationships, and it doesn't really matter if it's in love relationships or if it's in a business relationship or a relationship with, you know, your parents or whoever you're related to, is sounds a lot easier than it actually is in life. And I think it's a wonderful topic to touch, because it really is about allowing yourself to be you, but especially to get to the point and to discover who is it that I really am. Because I believe what I see in my practice is that a lot of people think they know themselves, but they actually don't really dare to go to deeper layers to really understand and feel who they are. So this is a topic I just love, and that's why I thought wonderful topic for this sunny Friday in April.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Evelien. Over to you, Carol Ann. Would you like to top up what Evelien has just said? What does it mean to you? Because everyone has different opinion. If you want to challenge Evelien, please feel free. If you agree with her,
Feel free. Yeah, got
feel
it.
free. Yes.
Thank you. And that's what I love, it is that feel free to express my own opinion, and that is something is important about getting to know yourself and the relationship with yourself, and that being relentless in that. I love what Evelien was just saying. It is a journey in getting to know yourself and getting to the core of who you are. And it's been that discovery journey for me. And I remember somebody once saying to me, quite a few years ago, I was talking with them and helping them through something in that moment. Something sort of showed up and I helped them through that, and we sort of shifted that. And then we just carried on with the activity we were doing, and then something else came up. And I just picked on that again, and he turned to me and said, "You're relentless, aren't you?" And it's the first time that I'd really heard that word or thought, oh, well, yes, actually I am. And I was able to take it in a positive way, because it wasn't said as a put down, it was a comment, an observation. And that's how I heard it. And so I was able to then go, well, actually, that has been how I've been. And I think that maybe that's been looked at in other ways, not so much in terms of being relentless. Nobody's used that word before, but being determined, being dogged on a mission, and actually having been made wrong for that in when I was younger. So it's like, it's okay to be relentless, because why give up on yourself? Why give up on relationships? And it's a relationship with yourself, it's a relationship with your business, your life, and the people that are in your life. There are so many different types of relationships that, being relentless to me means just, don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on it. It is worth keeping going. And there is that joy of, I think, as Evelien said, it's that nagging feeling of, is this all there is to life? Is there all there is here? I can relate to that. Because I remember when I was working, thinking and seeing each month, I had so much, only a certain amount of money coming in, and it was the same every month. And something started to get to me and think, is there any way out of this? So I think that also unlocked things for me that followed on later, So yeah. So interesting topic. I'd love to explore it.
Thank you so much. Helen says it's a very, very interesting topic. And she agrees with you girls that we think we know ourselves. So both of you have said the same thing. How do we actually get to know ourselves? How do we dig deep and get to know who we are and have a proper relationship with ourselves? Please, Evelien.
Yeah, I love that. I love that question, and thank you for Helen for commenting on this. And I think that that question is extremely key in life, and we need relationships to get to know ourselves better. All kinds of relationships. It's because the other is a very important and valuable mirror for us to look at ourselves and to really see ourselves for who we truly are. So it's by interacting with the outside world that we get to deeper layers within ourselves and get to know ourselves. And so getting to know yourself at least is not, not hiding yourself and but go out there and meet people and dare to own your space and to occupy your space. And I think what we just talked about, the word relentless, is that, of course, it's a bit of a teasing word. And it doesn't mean, in my perspective, that you're not respectful to the other. But especially for so many women, they hide themselves, or they think about, should I be doing that, or should I be doing this? And I've been in relationships myself in all kinds of contexts where I was hiding behind the others and I was not taking up my space. And I think once you get to a point in life where you can really feel that love for yourself, that really is the foundation of stepping up and owning your space and taking up your space. And talking about relationships, that really is the foundation, because it is such a liberating feeling to really step up and be in a relationship where you are not afraid of expressing and saying what you feel and what you think and who you are, because you can be completely you. And if you do that from a very genuine heart and very respectful to the other, there is no fear. It is just a matter of choosing love over fear. And I could go on and on about this, but I guess I'll let Karen just comment a little bit on this.
Carol, Anna, would you like to comment your opinion, please?
Thank you. I love it. It's like how to get to know yourself. And I totally agree with you. It is those relationships, because you get to see the mirror, the reflection. And I think this is where people don't actually get the power of how other people are showing up with you. And in whatever way that person is showing up, there's an aspect of you that's being reflected that you can get to know. And it may be a part that you're going, really? No. I don't like this. Maybe just sit with it, because I know this from my own experience, where certain people have showed up in a way and I've gone, oh, I don't like this. And they've really pushed some buttons in me. And I've sat and I thought, hang on a second. Let's just take the reflection here. What I see in them is in me. What part of me has behaved in this way? And at first, there's been times when I've gone, no, totally denied it. Don't want to go there. Can't believe that's true. And then when I sat with that and really dived into it and embraced it, it's been absolutely amazing what has shifted and changed, because then I find it and I can then come to a forgiveness, forgive it, embrace it. And the relationship then with the other person shifts and changes as well. They might just drift away, or they actually show up differently. But I've come to know myself in a different way, a different aspect of myself. And it's also recognizing that there is nothing wrong. It's not about making it right or wrong or putting blame on it. It's just recognizing what is there. So, yeah, I think that is a great point that you've made. It's relationships that really help us to get to know ourselves. And but it's then being able to, in getting to know ourselves, be able to express that and stand in that and create our boundaries, because that's what's important in relationships, is being able to set those boundaries, not hide, not feel that you can't speak out, you can't do your own thing, or that you can be treated in a certain way. It's like standing up and saying, well, no, this doesn't work for me. This is how I would prefer it to be. And the other thing I've come to realize is that how people show up and have treated me is because that's how I've trained them to be. You know, I've accepted the behavior. So how do they know to behave any differently? You know, so it is about then standing up and saying no, but then having the strength to then be with what happens. Because when someone knows you in a certain way, a relationship happens in a certain way, the dynamics, you know, happen, and you then go out of kilter with it, that other person can get a bit, and try and pull you back into, well, no, this is who I know you to be. And I know for a long while, when I stepped out of teaching and was training in educational kinesiology, brain gym, NLP, and other personal development fields, and attempting to build a business from that, people say, "Oh, why don't you go back to teaching? You know, you can earn some money there." And I'm going, no, that's not what I'm about anymore. But that's all they saw me to be. And it took a long while to sort of stop that conversation, because that's who people knew me to be. And I then had to keep standing up and going, no, this is who I am now. And it took a long while for me to then accept that, yes, I am a teacher and I can bring the skills to what I do now, but it's not something I'm going back to in the same way. So, yeah, it's important to really get to know yourself and use those reflections. And if you're not sure how to do that, then there are speakers here who are trained in helping you. Get in touch, you know, ask for support, because I've done a lot of work on myself, but I've also had support along the way. It's an interesting journey, and yeah, it is something that be quite fearful. So it takes courage to step into it and say, I'm going to make this journey, and be relentless in carrying on with the journey. So yeah, it's an adventure.
So much. Thank you so much, Carol. On you know, learning about yourself is a journey. I used to write a note every day, like about myself, like I'm learning about myself, and it's a journey, and I'm finding that journey. So I knew where I wanted to go. I know Evelyn touched about how she used to hide her true authenticity when she's around people. I used to do the same. And sometimes the people that we around with, they can put a shadow on us, because when you are, because us, we you get afraid of showing up because you're with people who are feeling the same way. So you have to, if it is your family member, you have to actually, because even them, it will take time for them to actually get to know the real you. I always say to people, I don't know someone until they show me who they are. People always say, I know you. I'm like, no, you don't. Because every day I wake up in the morning, I'm growing each and every day. So how can you know what's in my heart? So you don't know me unless I show you who I am. So that's when you can say, oh, I'm learning more about you. So that's what life is about. I used to be afraid when I'm around my family members or when I'm around my friends. I'll be afraid for them to show my true authenticity. But now, from 10 years ago, I'm not afraid to show people who I am. And sometimes it can cause problems to people. People just walk away from you because they think, why are you being the way you are? Or sometimes you make a decision and say, this is what I want to do. And they're like, no, you can't do it. And then it can cause conflict between that. So you have to be aware that there are some people in your life, because they love you so much. When you tell them this is who you are, they will speak, they will talk you out of it. But it doesn't mean they don't love you. They love you, but they are protective of you. So you have to, it doesn't mean that, because some people, when someone says, oh no, don't do this, they actually listen. So you don't need to listen. You need to go ahead and be who you want to be. If somebody loves you that much, and God have put those people in that path, or the universe, I don't know your beliefs, whatever your beliefs, they've been put in that path to help you, to build you, to help you to grow. They'll follow you. They'll come back to you and say, I'm sorry. Some people will just say, I knew you were capable of this. I knew you could do this. I knew you can be who you want to be. So you just have to keep going with your true authenticity, building your own image, building your dreams, being the person that you want to be in that relationship, behaving the way God created you to be, not changing your character, trying to fit in with people, trying to fit in with your spouse. It doesn't work. You end up with depression, you end up with frustration. Anyone else wants to comment on that? Please feel free.
Yes, absolutely. I love that. I love that because often when people that are surrounded by you, for example, what you were saying on some family members that, try to protect you, it's often a reflection of their own fear. And it's not as much about you as it is their own fear that they're talking about. And to be ourselves, to be relentlessly ourselves, we have to get to a point where we get to know ourselves better to be able to draw the boundaries. So it kind of goes both ways, because we can only draw boundaries if we know ourselves good, but we get to know ourselves by these boundaries. And also what I would like to bring up is that we all have scripts in our head, in our mind. And what I see often, and especially in relationships, is that we tend to fill in so many things for others that we create in our head as if it's the truth. And I think this is something that often leads to a lot of miscommunications in relationships, but also collaborations business-wise, where we fill in so many things for others. And that really takes us away from really being present and really listening and seeing and feeling and using our intuition to really take in what is happening. Because how many times do we not want maybe a relationship to work, and we make the other a certain way in our head, but that is not what reality is. And that's all because we let ourselves be led by fear instead of really opening up and being in the present moment and really being aware of what that script is that we're telling ourselves. And I think for me, it's been such, and that is something I do, in my business constantly, helping people to become aware of what is the script that you have. And we have tons of scripts in different ways. We have it in our own family, in our relationships with our kids, with our parents, with our business partners. And by being aware of the fact that we have that script, and that this script is really preventing or taking us away from really seeing what is something that really helps you to get to the deeper layers of what is really there, and for seeing the other for who they are, and also even getting in deeper layers of getting to know yourself.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Eve. Helen says, yes, being relentless and saying no matter what and having the courage. She says she loves that. She's done of hiding and pretending to be what she's not, so to make others comfortable. So as from now on, I'm sure she's going to be who she wants to be. She's a coach anyway, so she knows what to do. So I think she's just making that statement out loud that I'm tired of showing people who I'm not. So she's going to be who she wants to be. And thank you so much, Helen. Over to you, Carol Ann. Would you like to add anything?
I love we do have all these scripts in our head. We do fill in, and when we're listening to somebody, you've already decided what they're going to say, or you've got this picture in your head of who they're being, and you're not really present with them. And actually, it's really hard to know that you're doing that, because I used to do that, but I wasn't fully conscious of me. It was survival. It was like, I've got to plan, or they're going to say this, so okay, then so I got to say that and be ready, what to say. And it's an element of, am I going to get this right? And once I started to let that go and work with that, and started to be present, as Eve was saying, be in the moment, listening, be present. And it's about clearing your mind of those scripts, of the way of being that you think that person is being, and really listening to what, having an empty mind can actually shift a conversation and change the behavior of a relationship, the emotional feel of a relationship, and open up into something really quite beautiful and loving and honoring, and respectful. And once I started to be able to do that, it was amazing how words then would, it's as if the conversation itself happens of its own accord. I don't need to pre-plan or what to say. There are still times I sort of find myself doing that a bit, then I just go, stop, just be present, what's here right now, and trust that what I'm saying is perfect. There is nothing wrong. It is what is, and it can be picked up by the other person. They can explore it. They can come back and question. And I'm now happy with being questioned. Whereas before it was like, oh, I don't know, I felt I was being criticized. So again, that's a script in my head, a story of how I would respond or think someone else was talking to me, which actually wasn't the case at all. And so again, that changes the dynamics, because then you can sit with the question and go, okay. And I can either say, well, I don't know right now, or let me think about it, or ask more questions. What do you actually mean by that? And just allow that conversation to do this, just dance, it's like a dancing in the conversation. And I love that phrase when I first heard it. So, and again, it's listening to the words, it's listening to your own words, because there are certain words that create a pull and a tug rather than a dance in the conversation. And one word in particular is but. Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but it's boom, immediately there's that barrier has gone up. It actually negates what you've just said. It's actually saying, well, no, I don't actually understand what you're saying. And so that the bridge, it's just changing that one word to a different word. And the word that creates a bridge is and. So I hear what you're saying. I understand. And maybe if you thought about looking at it in this way, can you feel the difference? Can you hear the difference? So in our language, listen to your language and listen to the feel that it creates in the dynamics within a conversation that happens. So that, that's something that's been a great exploration for me over the years.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, that listening.
Yeah. And I would love to comment on that, because I love that you bring that up, Caroline, because that really is important in understanding yourself, and also about your script, but at a deeper level is being aware of the words that you speak. And I think a wonderful example of but also you see a lot of, especially women, tend to make themselves so much smaller by the words they use and they choose. And that's especially something that is always important. But then, ask for people around you. You can ask a coach, but even your partner, or even some good friends that you frequently talk to help you to really see what you do, because sometimes you're not even aware of the words that you speak and how you make yourself even smaller than you really are. And so these are just small things that you can do as tips to open your eyes and to see what is really there. And also what you just commented on, Carol-Anne, about how difficult it can be sometimes to see and to really become aware of your own scripts. For example, what helps is to set the intention, for example, in the morning, that you will be, opening up to be aware. And for example, if you go around for a walk and you be very aware of what your thoughts are. For example, someone that is just crossing by and he walks by too closely, or maybe has just jumping on you while you're wearing white trousers, or we often tend to judge others or have specific thoughts about it. But if you set the intention of being really aware about being free of judgment and free of expectations, and really opening your heart up, and that's a wonderful way in becoming aware of, oh, what was I thinking while this guy was passing by? Or what was happening here or there? And even, in traffic, when we're driving a car and things happen in traffic, and we tend to, think and judge and have a specific script about things that are happening around us. So you can use really tiny, small examples during the day to train yourself in becoming more aware of what is happening in my, what is happening in my head? What am I doing? And also with the words that I just said about speaking, that, Caroline just brought up about the but, and so many other words that we use in, maybe, or I should be, or, all these words that we're using to make ourselves, feel ourselves even more insecure than we are. And once we are more aware of how these words just kind of bring us into a certain energy that, where we make ourselves smaller, or where we bring up energy that is not helping us, then we can change and we can use different words. And, I think, because if we all take up our space and be ourselves, I believe that the world would be even a better place than it already is. And I truly believe that, because we're all here. And the reason that we're here as human beings is so unique. If you really understand the fact that we're here as human beings, we have the responsibility to let ourselves be heard, to let ourselves be seen, and to live our gift in life. And that is the only way and foundation of getting into healthy relationships, where you can, just be yourself, and where you can just rely on that, that things should flow a certain way, and it should go a certain organic way. And if it doesn't, that's just a sign from nature that something is going on, that something wants to be seen. It's the words you speak is a life you live. It's and everything that is around you is just a mirror for you to let yourself, to see what is really happening, and where you should maybe change some things in your life.
I love that that you just said. The words you speak are the life you live. Let's really listen to those words. Really hear them. And, people who are listening, listen to those words. Yeah, the words you speak
The life you live.
are the life you live.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And so if you're not sure whether you're catching these words, because the but word is so, it just slips in all the time. And once I did a few exercises in a particular few programs a long time ago, and started to really feel the impact of this word, and then started to really hear it. And now I'm conscious of it, and it slips in so easily. People aren't aware they're using it. And I started catching people. You just said it, they go, oh, they're just so not aware. So maybe what you could do is ask somebody to become conscious of when you're saying it, and to, just pull you up on it, help you become conscious of how many times you say it. And then re-say what you said and put the and word in, because it is such an unconscious thing. And then the more you can do that, the more it then becomes conscious. You know you're about to say that but word. The other word is try. That again, there's an energy. I love the way you said it brings a certain energy, these certain words. So should is one of those words, as you said. And another word, as I said, is try. I'm trying to do that, or I'll try to do that. Well, try, there's effort there. And actually, there is no try. There is, you're only doing the action, or you're not doing the action. There's nothing in between. And so take the word try out. Yes, I will attempt to do it. I will go and do it. Or, you bring in a different way of saying it. But it's funny how these little words have popped into our language and our vocabulary, and are so rife, but they do create an energy that is not helpful. And so by shifting those, we shift our whole way of living our life, And the other point you said about you're here to take up your own space. Well, consider that when you're looking at somebody else and trying to be like them, are you taking up your own space, or are you attempting to take up their space? It's just something that popped into my head as I heard that phrase. I'm thinking, well, maybe that's what's causing so many ructions and arguments. You're attempting to muscle in on their space. You find your own space. And if everybody did the same thing, wouldn't that be a much more harmonious world to live in? Because we're not trying to be like someone else. We're not trying to muscle in on their bit of space, or, and everybody's got their own space, and it can be as big as you like. It's infinite. There is no, well, I've only got this little bit of space. There's something magical about, our space is infinite, as is everybody's, in some multi-dimensional way that it's just sort of coming to me as I'm talking. I'm just seeing it in a completely different way. It's not this 2-dimensional, 3-dimensional way. There's something more sort of going into that 5th dimensional loving way. It's a different space altogether. So yeah, focus on your own space. And then if everybody did that, wow, I wonder what peace could come to the world, what harmony. We could all sing in harmony. Wow, I love that vision. I'm going, whoa, where's this come from? So interesting. So thank you for your words, Eve, because they've sparked this within me. And can you see how that does? Like, conversation, words spark ideas. Absolutely. It's fascinating.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Eve. I like it when I like as well what Caroline just said. What you said, take up your own space. I always said when I started getting into personal development, I was like, I need to start celebrating my friends when they are winning, when they are when their lives. When I look at their pictures on social media, I have to I have to show them that I love them, but I have to act on it inside my heart. Because even the words that I speak is tough. Like when you talk about words, that the words you speak are the life you live. It is difficult for us to always, but what I do is if I say a negative word, I have to forgive myself for that. If I'm aware of it, I have to say, no, sir, I forgive you for saying negative things about yourself. But what I've learned to do is to leave my own space, like what you are saying, leave your own space. Before I will look at someone, if they dress up nicely, whatever the dress they are wearing, if I saw the dress on social media, they're wearing it, I will just go and look for it. I'm not joking. Honestly, I don't know if somebody has seen it, even if it's nice. I will just go, even if it's good, is beautiful, or a handbag. But when I go into personal development, I was like, let me admire someone. Whatever they are wearing, whatever the handbag they are wearing, I cannot go and buy it because it is their own space. It is their glory. Let me have my own glory. I try to create my own image. I try to live the life that I want. Or sometimes um, there's a website I go and buy my clothes. Sometimes they have clothes £1,000, £500. I buy them for £30, £20 because every time they have big sales, they email me. So I'll keep looking, I'll keep checking. So I buy it, and somebody look at me like, wow, how much did you, where did you buy that? I'm like, please, whatever you do not go spend what I spend. I did not spend loads of money. So that's my life. That's how I live my life. I look for bargain. Honestly, I can go online. I go online and put my email address on every uh, big shop's expensive clothes, but I'm not gonna buy them expensive because I'm not silly. So I just buy when they give me special offers. When they say we have 80% special offers, I'm like, okay, I'm in, I'm going, and then I buy. So that's what I've learned. I've taught myself to live my life how I want to live. Even when I met, what's her name? Rachel, is it Rachel from Dragon's Den? When we spoke on stage with her, what's her name? Ba, 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 ba. Irene Phillips from Dragon's Den. On her talk, she was wearing a jacket, and she said this jacket, just the piece, cost £4,000. But because her life was good, but then when she went through challenges, her business partners, when they betrayed her, she said she went through a self discovery that she didn't need to buy one piece of clothes for £10,000. She said, I used to walk to a shop, I see a top, £10,000, I buy it. But then when she started going through deep, her inner deep self of discovering self-discovery, she discovered that she didn't have to do that. She can actually donate some of the money to charity and just live a normal life. And I was like, I was inspired by her talk when I was actually next to her and asking her question, and she's telling me that no matter how much money you get, clothes, they get ripped, you chuck them in the bin. Then in the next day you get bankruptcy. Those clothes are not gonna get anything. Invest in your money to something else that you can use it later. And I was like, okay, I'm listening. But before, I'll just go on social media, look at somebody, they're wearing a beautiful makeup. I'm like, I'll ask him, what brand? are you wearing? Now I've learned to appreciate myself. I have a woman that I buy products from her. I ask her what's trending now. Can I try it? It has to be my want. It has to be my desires, because it's my book of life. My book of life, it says, Nomsa, this is your journey. It's like Ngozi talk show. When I decided that I'm gonna go ahead with Ngozi talk show, I knew that it's gonna be tough. I knew that the path is not gonna be easy. I knew that I'm gonna fall. But it's okay. I have to fall for me to succeed, for me to actually be who I want to be. I know that I have to go through challenges. I have to go through happy times. But I had to choose who I'm surrounded with, which is you guys, good people. And that's what makes Ngozi talk show. Me choosing the right people and being surrounded by those right people around me. That's what makes Nomsa. That what makes Ngozi. So thank you so much, ladies. Anyone wants to go ahead and comment? Evelien, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I was just looking at the last comment, by the way, in the chat that Helen said about disappointing others. And I think that that is something I wanted to comment on, because I think that if you could allow yourself to let go of that, that feels like freedom. And because it's not our responsibility, is that, whatever choices we make in life, as you were just explaining, Namsa, some choices you make, some things you do, is that whatever that effect has on others. I think if we take major decisions in our life and we do it heartfelt, and we look at what the impact of others that are close to us and that are important for us are, then we can let go of the effect, because everybody else can take care of themselves. And I think is that we don't have to take care of others. Everybody is in this world to learn to take care of themselves and to take their own responsibility. And I think if we really let ourselves get carried away by being afraid of disappointing others, we're, getting into a field where there's no way to win, because that's something where I think it's the biggest gift that we can give others is to help them grow, is to help them learn into growing in their own feeling of confidence, self-confidence, and taking up their responsibility in life. And so I think that's what I love about this topic of today, is that just you walk your own path and stay true to yourself, and ask people around you to help you. Be aware of the words you speak, the thoughts you think, and there's so many people that can help you and that are willing to help you. So just go out there and make the change.
And yeah, thank you for picking that up, because it brought up a memory for me that it could have stopped me continuing my journey. But once I started my journey, there was someone, a really dear friend, who I lost sort of contact with. And then when I did pop in and see her one time, gosh, her comment was, I'd broken her heart because I'd gone on a journey that she couldn't follow. She said to me, it was like you went up your own backside, she said, and lost yourself. But I felt, in a sense, there was almost a make wrong in there. And I realised it was a comment, that was how she felt. And I could have let that stop me. And I nearly did, in a way. I said, okay, I'll stop now, and it's like, okay. But I couldn't stop. There was a drive within me. I had to continue going inside and continue the journey. And I haven't spoken to that friend since. It just hasn't happened. And I actually realized that our friendship was when we used to meet up weekly on a weekly basis for things, but we never spoke on the phone. It wasn't that sort of relationship that we would talk on the phone. And the expectation was that I would pick up the phone and talk with her. And I remember thinking, wow, there's an expectation here that actually doesn't fit in with how our relationship was, and how we used to communicate with each other. Because there were other friends that, it was on the phone all the time. We'd talk. But, and even those friends, I don't have communication with, I don't speak with on the phone. It's like they drifted away. But that one friend, that really touched me there. That disappointment, I remember her saying, like, she felt that her heart broke. And so I now think, okay, there's a part of me wants to say I'm sorry, but it's like, by saying sorry, you're making the whole journey wrong. There is nothing to say sorry for. It's just to acknowledge, I still feel I want to say sorry, but it's like it's acknowledging what happened, present to it, and loving it and not making it wrong. It is what it is. And this journey, you have your journey, and people will drift away, and then they may just come back. I've had other friends that have, come back after years, and it's like, wow, it's as if no time has gone in between. So allowing yourself to go through that is part of that relentlessness of getting to know yourself and creating your own space and taking up your own space. And I'd just like to sort of add a bit more to what Eve was saying about the biggest gift you can give others is to help them to grow. And the best way you can do that is by growing yourself, because you then give them permission to grow. You can't change anybody else. You can't change them. You can only change yourself. So recognize the reflection, work on yourself, and then that allows for other people to grow themselves. Because actually, wherever they're at, if you're saying, well, I think you should be somewhere else, you're actually making them wrong. You're actually saying, well, you think that they're on the wrong journey. And I actually had somebody say to me once, you're doing it all wrong. You're doing it all wrong. And I remember thinking, well, what do you mean? What do you mean? I'm in this pain. What do you mean I'm doing it all wrong? And although she denied that later on when I confronted her at that conversation, she said, no, I didn't say that. In that moment, that is what I heard. And so it made me question what I was doing. And I had to really work with that and come to a place of acceptance and trust. Because trust has been my biggest lesson of learning to trust my own inner guidance, my connection with my higher self, with God or whoever you think, that it's that higher self, that intuition, and trust that guidance, because that guidance knows what your journey is and what you're here for and what you're meant to experience. And you're not given anything that you haven't got the tools or the ability to deal with. It may seem in the moment that you think, oh God, I really can't deal with this right now, or I haven't got the capability of dealing with this. Actually, you have. And it may be that reaching out to somebody or somebody that you know, and that's a way of dealing with it. So you do have the means of dealing with whatever you are presented with, however challenging it may seem. So, yeah, it's working on yourself all the time. And just anybody that sort of moves away, just hold them in that space of allowing them their own journey, seeing them whole, healed, and complete. You allow them to take their own journey, which might be different from the one that you think they ought to take, because you know something different to them. You have to let them take that journey. You can share ideas, which then gives them the ability or the option to make their own choice. I think that's what's really important. It's giving people the information, allowing them to hear all the options, and allowing them to make their own choice, wherever it may take them, and just be that support, be that loving support for whatever happens. Mm.
Wow. Anything you want to say, Evelien, after all this?
No, I think I just kind of closed off with the words that I spoke before, Caroline. So I think it's lots of inspiration for today, and I think in a show we can follow up on so many topics that we have already covered today. So I think it's I'm happy for
Thank you so much, ladies. It was amazing. So any words of encouragement before we go, Evelien, to our audience? I know you guys have spoken about what do you want to leave them with, and what do you want them to find you if they want to look for you.
Yes.
Oh, there's an email there. Actually, they can find you through that email through Kamal, but your website or social media, please.
Yes.
Words of encouragement.
Yes. So what I would like to finish
and
with.
You have written your book, please. Can you tell the audience about your book, please?
Yes, I have actually. This is the Dutch version, Be Relentlessly Yourself, and it is a book that is available starting off the next couple of days, also in English. Be Relentlessly Yourself. So through the major channels, you'll be able to buy it. And if you have any other questions, or if you would like to reach out and find more about me, my website is evelienvanes.com/en for the English version. And if you're good in Dutch, you can read the Dutch version. And I'm to be found on LinkedIn and also Instagram, Facebook. So whenever you have any questions, or please feel free to reach out. I love to inspire. And I think for now, I would like to close off with the words is that I think is what I brought in today was just become aware of the words that you speak, because it is so powerful to be aware of that, because that really is what is the life that you live. So I think it's a wonderful way of closing off this afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Evelien. Over to you, Carol Ann. Any words of encouragement you would like to leave with our audience? And I know you have so many things that are coming up. You have your workshop coming up and social media. Please, where can the audience find you if they're looking for you?
So I have, from this conversation today about finding yourself and being yourself and occupying your own space, and being able to then support others on their journey. It all comes down to you then sharing your journey, sharing your message. And this is what I'm about, is helping you to unlock that writer within, so you can write that story, really go into your soul. What does your soul come here to share with the world? And that is being true then to yourself. And where you can find me is on LinkedIn, Carol Ann Cooper. So if you want to go to LinkedIn and find Caroline Cooper, Anne has the E on the end. Carol doesn't. So yeah, Caroline Cooper. I've also got a Facebook group, which you might be interested to go to. It's called Get Your Book Written. So if you'd like to look for that group, Get Your Book Written. And yeah, you'll find in there about my workshops. I've just run the Move Method writing retreat this week, and which helps you to get in touch with and build the foundational framework that you need to actually write your book, your story, or whatever piece of writing you're doing. It helps you to get moving with it, because I'm all about movement, moving you through stuckness. So, where you're a bit stuck, come and have a chat. But yeah, come and find me. I'd love to get to know you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for those who are watching Ghost Talk Show. We are here Monday to Friday, 1 p.m. UK time. And as our topic today, I'm going to leave you with this. We all have a life that has been prepared for us. We all have a house of success. We all have, I don't know whatever you believe, but for me, I believe that God gave me a horse of success to ride. So if I'm riding someone else's life, that means I'm rejecting my horse. So I love to ride my horse all the way to the end, till I die. I don't know what you think about yourself, but I'm all in about what NUMSA is about. So thank you so much. And thank you so much, ladies, for empowering this community. And live with grace, everyone. And God bless you.